Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome to another AI After School with Prairie Rose. And Kellyanne, you just take it away.
Well, welcome everybody. Today we are going to look at Canva Magic Studio. And so in the chat, if you could just leave us a comment about whether or not you have used any of the AI features in Canva, we'd be happy to know what you've been using.
What might some of those features be, Kellyanne?
Well, if we are going to just move on to the next slide,
Okay.
we can give some heads up about some of the things Canva has to offer. So Canva has launched just this month a huge library of already created lessons, materials, resources, and even courses. That won't be the focus for today. If we have time at the end, we can show you how to access them. But what we'd like to look at today is the Magic Studio features. So we have Magic Write, we have Magic Animate, we have text to image, text to video, and we'll take a look at some of those in a live demonstration here. If we're ready.
Do you want to go live right now?
Yeah, let's go live right now. We'll go
right.
to the Canva site. So some of you have probably already been in Canva to create your digital masterpieces, but did you know that Canva has an extensive Magic Studio that was fairly recently launched? You might have seen my cursor here over on this toolbar, and it's rather distracting, but can be quite calming as well. So if you see over here on the left-hand side, Magic Studio, you can go ahead and click on that. It does take you to all of the magic tools that Canva has to offer. There is an introductory video, so if there's things I don't cover today that or you miss, you can always go back and watch these videos. Canva launched quite a few new ideas with their Magic Studio, including Magic Design, which will help you create presentations and videos, as well as their Magic Write feature. Their Magic Write feature would be a very similar product to something like ChatGPT, and it actually works in any of their applications. So once we get into creating something here, I'll show you how to access Magic Write. We're just going to scroll down here to the text to image. So if you keep moving, you'll see text to image is a way to turn your ideas from text into an image. And I just wanted to point out that it's actually quite a big business to come up with prompts to enter into any of these AI products. And so one of the things that I really love about Canva, and we'll share this in the resources afterwards, is that they've created what they call teacher cheat sheets. And so they give lots of prompt starters or templates for you to be able to use. So let's go ahead into the text to image and start generating something. So some neat ideas that teachers around the world have been using the text to image feature for is creating visual representations of things like an idiom. And so what's really neat is in the generator, you're going to type create a visual representation of an idiom for break the ice. You can click on try an example if you're just curious about playing around. But what I also like about the Canva text to image is that you can actually choose the type of style you would like your product to look like. And so if you leave it blank, it's sort of random and you're not too sure what you're going to get. But if you choose something like, say, watercolor, then the output will be a watercolor. You can also adjust your aspect ratio so that it could suit something like an Instagram post. So once you've made all of your selections, you can go ahead and click on the create. Now it is working hard and it is live right now, so it will take a couple of seconds for your image to generate. One really important thing to know, we have a Canva Pro account with Prairie Rose, and because we have the Canva Pro, we actually get 500 Magic Studio prompts or entries each month. So it resets at midnight on the last day of the month. So you can see here that I've got some choices that have come up, and just like any Canva project, I can choose to select it and it'll add to my project. If I'm not happy with any of them, I can click on this generate again idea. And if you can see at the bottom here, Cami, I'm just curious if we're actually displaying the
Well, I don't. Okay, so I can see your. What should we see?
I don't think we're actually viewing the right tab here.
I wonder
So,
if you maybe have turned on just your. If you need to turn
yeah,
on your whole screen instead of just your window.
I think that's what's happened here.
Give
So
that
we're
a
going to
try.
try this again.
While you're doing that, Kellyanne, the 500 prompts per month, is that
Yes,
just images or does that include other things as well?
it's for the Magic Studio. There we go. So you've all missed seeing that live, but don't worry, we'll show you some more. So once you're in your project, you might have noticed this new little circle at the bottom of your screen in the right-hand corner, and it looks a little bit like a star. If you click on this, this is the new Canva Assistant for Magic Studio, and you'll see that some prompts have showed up. So Magic Eraser, Magic Expand, Magic Edit. Because we're working with an image, those are what's appearing. But once I just have the box selected and I click on my Canva Assistant, you'll see Magic Write appear, and it has the crown to indicate that it is the Canva Pro feature. And so that's an indicator of how many we have left. If you want to keep track of your credits for the month, at the bottom left-hand screen right below Generate Again, you'll see that I've used 400, I have 488 credits remaining for this month. So Magic Write, again, is just like a Chat GPT. So we could add in here, if we wanted to get some examples, provide 5 examples of idioms to turn into images. And we'll go ahead and click on Generate. So you'll see that it produces just like Chat GPT would. So we could take some of these and put these into our generator and see what we get. So since we missed that, let's go generate again. And I'm just going to scroll back up. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to change break.
Can you tell us what the idiom is, or do you want us to guess based on the image?
Well, I think I won't be able to keep it a secret because you'll see what I'm typing in there.
Well, actually, it's might be hard to see. Okay, I get you. Depending on screen
I'm going
size.
to unselect watercolor and just show you what happens when it's when we leave it as no style selected, and see what we get for a random image. Again, it is live, and so it does take a little time for Canva to think. One thing that I'd like to point out, which is Canva has really created this product with teachers and students in mind. And so they are quite, I'd say, conscious of the possibility of inappropriate language and or images being produced. So they have quite a strong filter, but also they do take very seriously any feedback. So if you were using this with students and you did come across anything that might be inappropriate, you would absolutely want to report that to them, and they would take it very seriously. So I chose no image um, specification, and this is what I got. So not probably the best choice, and that we've seen that with all of our AI products, that in fact it's not always 100%. Another example where we've seen this being used in classrooms is to create illustrations for books that students might have been writing themselves. So for example, in the prompt, you can type create a vibrant. So I'm giving it a bit of specific language. Create a vibrant illustration for the classic fairy tale Little Red Riding Hood.
Do you want
Now,
to,
using the word vibrant,
are you going to give it like a
go ahead.
specific part of the story or just in general?
I'm just going to leave this one general because I've used this word vibrant, and you'll see sort of what happens. But this is where it could get interesting for students because the styles are quite diverse. And so students who could be into things like anime or ink prints could choose those. And they even have like a 3D option. But because I've used the word vibrant, I'm going to leave it as it is with no selection, just to show you what happens when you add in those kinds of specific descriptors. And again, we just wait patiently. So it's kind of produced this image where we know it's Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf is there, but the word vibrant has really made the red part of that prompt stand out. So you can apply it to your page. And now another new feature with Canva, once your image is selected, is the edit photo feature. And you'll see that it does indicate Magic Studio. And so with the Magic Studio photo editing, there's background remover, there's magic eraser. So I think I don't actually like one of these wolf heads in my picture, so I'm going to choose the magic eraser. It seems to be a little bit delayed, so we'll see if it wakes up and actually allows me to
I'll turn my
demonstrate
camera
this.
off and see if that helps a little bit, Kellyanne.
Okay, there we go. So it's woken up on my end. It might be a little laggy on yours, but you can adjust your brush size. So if you want to do some pretty fine work, you can make your brush size a little bit smaller. But this wolf here in the background is a little bit uh, awkward, I think. So I'm just going to try to erase him. It may be because we have a lot going on here that it's so laggy, but so it might not be the best example of how this works. You can see my paintbrush has really gone kind of wild, but we'll see what happens. And it does normally take a little while to think, but I think it is a bit slower because of the screencasting today. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. So ideally, when you're working at home, you could just paintbrush the wolf's head here and remove it from the image. So there is a little bit of flexibility once you've generated an image to continue to edit it. Likewise, some of the other Magic Studio features for photo editing is this magic edit. So we could actually take one of these wolves, we could use the paintbrush and prompt it to replace it with, say, a cat. Maybe she's bringing her cat with her through the forest. The students have rewritten the story.
Will you show us that?
Okay. Well, I'm going to try, but I don't know if it's going to allow us to do it.
Just
It's
with
so
the internet
laggy.
lag. Okay.
Yeah, I think so, but we'll try. I've
Can
selected
you can
it's
you
not
talk
going,
through
but
what the steps are to do that?
yeah, so it's you once you select it, you brush over the area you want to replace. So we'll try. We'll see if this I'm imagining how far I need to use my paintbrush strokes and seeing if it catches up with me. Okay. It's awfully laggy, but we're working on it here. Once you have the image, part of the image that you want to replace, you type in here. So we're going to replace the wolf with a cat. Maybe we'll make this a and you can see that it gives you some inspiration. So Canva likes to be quite helpful. I'm not going to add a party hat or anything like that. I'm just going to leave it like that and see what happens. My paintbrush strokes aren't great, so it may not like what we've done there, but hopefully we get the idea. Similar to the text to image, it's going to give us a few options to pick from before it actually changes our or edits our photo. Okay. Oh. Okay, well, the wolf is still there, but we see a little cat got added to the picture, so we need to we need to do better work with our brush strokes, and I hope at home you're able to do that when your computer isn't nearly as laggy as ours are today. Okay, I'm gonna go done. We'll say that's good enough for this one. Let's add a new page. And we can give another example. So let's get to our, okay. So we're going to develop or design, the language is pretty well the same, an imaginative illustration of a space adventure with rockets, planets, and alien creatures. So again, this could be something that you might use with your students writing stories. And this time I'm going to choose a concept art and we'll generate. So you can just see a little bit of variety that Canva can create.
It's often interesting to
One,
go through and check what it looks like in each of those different styles when you're new to using the magic art in Canva.
well, for sure, and that opens up a lot of conversation with students about the different styles of art that are in existence. You'll notice how similar these image prompts are, or sorry, these image generations are based on the prompt that we used. And again, these once you've generated the image using the Magic Media, you can go ahead and still use the photo editing Magic Media applications. I'm not going to do that because I'm seeing the time here, and I do want to show you another example. Maybe this is more useful in the high school or higher grades, but you can actually ask it to produce a caricature of, let's choose a famous person that students might all know, Albert Einstein. And this time we're going to choose, let's choose a playful, and we'll generate, see what students get.
Kellyanne, you had mentioned that you might use this with high school students. Now, did you literally mean high school students can use this? Are students able to use the magic features in Canva?
Yes, the magic features are available to our students because the safety features that Canva has placed, or the I guess the layers of filters that Canva has used. So I'm going to choose one of my Albert Einstein pictures, and I'd like to show you this exact same idea, but using the new video feature from Canva. I was worried about that. It's not actually available to us at this point in time in Canada, but hopefully it will be coming soon. Canva does have pretty strict guards in place against using their AI features to generate false or misleading information. So they're still working on getting the videos to work in Canada. Okay, so now again in Canva, we have the Magic Studio Magic Write. Oops, click off of Albert and just go into the project. So the Magic Write, I can say provide 5 facts about Albert Einstein and then generate. So now I've created a custom image using the Canva Magic Studio, and using Canva Magic Write, I've added 5 facts about Albert, and then all of the same features that you have been using all along in Canva would still exist in this project. So I can do all of the kinds of editing that I want to do to both my text and to the image.
Kellyanne, different generative AI tools give different quality as far as identifying sources. So you just asked for 5 facts. Does Canva
Correct.
provide sources for its facts or a source?
That's a good question. It doesn't within the text. There is a disclaimer in the links that we'll share with you about some of the information that they're gathering their content from. Okay.
And if anyone knows why there's vegetables, do you know why are all the vegetables in the caricature of Albert Einstein? I don't get that. Do you know? If anyone knows in the chat, I'd love to know why there's vegetables in the background of the caricature. So if you know, please help me out.
Yeah, well, let's see if maybe Magic Studio knows. Magic Write, let's ask. This could be a real test. Ah, he was a vegetarian. So there we go, Cami. Excellent question. We might want to add that fact about him into our information text here below.
Was it one of the facts? I'm curious now.
Oh,
I didn't.
well,
I didn't read them.
I've got a lot going on here. Let's see.
No,
it was not. The fact that he played violin was so interesting that in each one of the caricatures that was produced, the vegetables were stars of the show, but not the violin.
That is interesting, isn't it? Okay, thank you for that. But but it is important that we ask those questions and model that for our students. Like if there's something that we don't understand about an image or why is that happening, it's a great conversation starter and also teaches our students that we have to question everything that AI is producing for us.
Absolutely. Okay, one of the last things that we can show here using the text to image, you can create some visual puns. And so I've actually seen this quite a lot recently on social media, and I'm going to go back to none. But I've seen quite often that teachers are creating like a quadrant page of visual puns and visual idioms and having students try to decipher what they are. So that might be a fun activity for like a anticipatory set or an icebreaker that you use with students in their classrooms. So again, AI and the 80-20 rule, sometimes it doesn't quite hit the mark, and your prompt definitely has an impact to play on what is generated. So I'm not so sure I love any of these. When I was playing around with this yesterday, I used watercolor and I got something that was looked a little bit more like anime, but let's see what happens if I change it today. And once this is generated, I'll just show you that sort of the ticker is counting down that I've been using credits. Yeah, this is not. Create a visual pun for a fish out of water. So we might need to add more descriptors, and it might say something like place the fish in a tree. Let's see what happens now.
I thought that the other ones, even though there were some kind of weird, incomplete, or incorrect images, showed the idiom better than that set.
Then the pun, I agree with you. One of the things, and I haven't really experienced this because I haven't played around quite enough, but something that I have seen quite a bit on social media and from other Canva users is that when you're creating specific characters using descriptive text, for some reason, the text to image has a really hard time drawing hands. So I'm curious if anyone in the comments has been playing around with the text to image and if they've experienced this. Another really great example I've seen online that teachers have used is taking the descriptive language from a text and putting it into the text to image prompt for developing characters for stories that they've been reading. So creating not necessarily the illustration for a whole page, but creating an illustration of a character from within a book. So that's a really neat learning activity for students to work on their descriptive text and how writing prompts can really impact the outcome of what you get. Okay. I'm just going to take us back home. I think we've seen text to image quite a few times. I just want to show us again and remind us that when we're at our home page, Magic Studio is near the top and it is a different color. It has new here to show us that it is in fact a new thing. When you click on it, you can access all of the features that have been added quite recently, last month, to Canva in their Magic Studio. So Magic Design, remember that Canva is very much about digital design and digital storytelling. So their Magic Design is quite a neat way for you to create things like Instagram posts, and you can even apply your brand kit. So you can see that there. Magic Design for presentations, I would say, is an attempt at something like CuraPod, but definitely has a ways to go in the education department. But it does create something that's pretty basic and you could add to. So sort of like a template creator. Again, Magic Write can be found within each of your projects in Canva. If you are working in the project, you just go to the bottom right-hand corner where this little question mark is. Instead, it's the star, and that's your Canva assistant, and Magic Write will appear. It does give you some prompts in Magic Write when you have some text selected. Let's see if we can maybe get back to that and show you. Let's go back here to Albert. So we've got all these facts. When we select Magic Write, we can actually choose to summarize. We could continue writing so they would add more facts or rewrite them all together. Canva likes to title things to make it a little bit interesting. So we can select more fun, more formal, or sprinkle some fairy dust. So let's just see what happens if we sprinkle some fairy dust on Albert Einstein. Whoops, that's a little too big. So if you see what happened here, it wrote it so that it's a little bit like whimsical or fairy tale-ish. With the flick of his wand, Einstein conjured the spellbinding equation of E equals mc squared, a cornerstone of modern physics. So that's kind of a fun feature of the Magic Write in Canva. Okay.
Well, and like any of these tools, Kellyanne, it's important to note that they are getting better. Sometimes they work great for what we want. Sometimes it's a total bust. And so it's trial and error. Don't expect perfection the first time. You'll often have to, tweak your prompt or try again. And sometimes I've just said, this is not working. I can't get it. And I've aborted the thing that I've tried to create.
Absolutely. Sometimes what you know is best. But for, with something like that with students can be quite fun to see what the difference between more fun, more formal, and then a
All
little
right. Any
pixie
final
dust into your
resources to
writing.
show us as we
Uh,
wrap up
sure.
today?
There is one new thing that we didn't talk about today, and that is the Bringing Learning to Life, the Education Library. So we won't go in and demo all of those things, but if you're a TPT fan, I highly recommend that you access this Education Library. All of the Magic Studio features work within all of the templates that already exist in that library. So they have things like lessons, resources, even full courses have been built now in Canva with some pretty reputable partners such as NASA and the New York Times.
All right. So, Kellyanne, thank you for that tour of all the different ways that we can use, especially that design tool. We haven't really used an image generator in many of our other after school sessions, so it was great to see that in action. Canva, remember, is a great choice. Many image generators and other products cost you credits or tokens, and even though there is a limit in Canva, the limits in other products are much, much smaller. So essentially, we have a huge array of free options in Canva to design those images. And so with that, just a quick reminder that our next session with AI After School will be on November 22nd. And you can check your email for the topic of that as we get closer. And as always, all of our resources can be found at bit.ly/PRSD8AI3. That's our website with all of the videos, all of the resources. Until next time, thanks for joining us at AI After School.
Bye, everybody.